Hi, my name is Phil Latondras, and this video is about some tips and tricks of how to make tying a bass bug with deer hair a little bit easier. This video is not about tying a complete fly. If you're starting from scratch and you want to learn how to tie bass bugs, there's lots of videos out there. You can go to my channel, and I've got Ed Lashes posted. He's the one that I watched over and over and over again. Pat Cohen, I bought his training videos, and just about anybody that was out there watched their training videos. But none of them did the techniques that I am going to show you today. So I've got a basic bottom bunch of deer hair on here, and one of the issues that I had was when you started to put the top layer on, that it was difficult to handle, and also I'd end up wrapping or trapping deer hair fibers in the wrong color and that sort of thing. So what I did is I thought, if I were to develop a little tool, and so what I did is just this little plastic thing. I don't know if you can see it here. I just cut this out of some hard plastic, and it's just really nothing more than a circle that off of a straight edge, and basically kind of a divot in the middle of it. What I'm going to do is I go like so, and I just lodge that in the deer hair that I've got. What that does is it separates it, so when I put the next bunch in there, I can wrap all the way around and not trap any deer hair, because I've got this holding a spot for it. So I'm going to put another color in there, and let's see here. So I'm going to just do a whole color by itself so you can kind of get the concept, and then I'll do another section on here showing how you would do, like if you wanted to put a spot on there. It's just the same technique over and over again. So I'm not making any specific color designations here. Basically just showing you the technique. If you watched my video about how to avoid using skirts, you'll see that the fly that I'm using is basically what I started in that one. So I'm just getting the bunch of deer hair ready here. I'm not putting any, I'm not leaving the tips on it, because I'm not building a skirt. So you'll see now I can take this bunch of hair and I can just slide that right down in there, and my little plastic gizmo holds it in place, and so that I can now wrap, and I'm going to wrap it a couple of times. Again, this is not how to tie the fly, but just make your life a little bit easier. I'm going to scrunch it down just a little bit. I will take my divider off, and now I'm just going to hold the deer hair and flare it the rest of the way. But look what that did. See, it didn't, I got no fibers trapped in there. Makes for very nice lines. So now I'm going to go through or finish tying this section, and then I'll show you another trick here. And just scoot it all the way back there with my fingers. That's the starting spot. Pull the thread up. Make sure I got everything nice and tight. Just do a couple of wraps. I'm going to do a couple of half hitches here. Tie that on good. I'm going to take my fugly packers and just squeeze back, make sure that that knot is scooted all the way back. Everything still looks good there. Put a little drop of glue there to hold that knot in place. Okay, so now here is the next trick, and basically I'm just going to take a little piece of plastic wrap. So this is stuff that, you know, your shipping bags come in, something, you know, thicker than like a sandwich bag type deal, but basically thick enough that it won't tear. So. But before I do that, I'm going to wrap my thread just out here a couple of turns. I'm going to take this on. Now, a lot of guys do this for the end of the fly, but I do it right for every section. So I just wrap that on there, and then I take and I clip that back. So now you can see I've got a real clean spot to start with the rest of the deer hair. So I'm going to put another chunk on the bottom there. Again, this is not about how to tie a deer hair bass bug. This assumes that you've tried it, you fought with it, and now you just want to find an easier way to make it all come together. Okay, so now I'm just gonna wrap this section on, tighten it a little bit, scoot it all the way underneath, get it all flared. And then I'll take my plastic divider here, put that in the center. I tilt it just a little bit so that when you torque everything over, it still lines up right. So now I'm going to take a smaller amount of the next section. So I'm going to do about half of what is normally in the top section, because I'm going to make a dot. Okay, got my section cut off the tips, laying her down there. See my divider? I can get in there nice and clean. Pull it just to tighten it a little bit. And remove my divider. Grab a hold of the hook eye, push down, and then pull down and spread out the deer hair. So now, again, this is not necessarily going to be pretty, although they're all pretty. I'm just shoving that up there, separating both layers now. Kind of make sure I got a clean spot. Now I'm just going to take about a quarter of the amount, and I'm just going to stick with the blue that I've already got started here. What you're not seeing me do is to comb out the under fur, but since you know how to tie deer hair flies, you know that that's a necessary component. Stacking it a little bit, cutting off the tips, and now I can take and drop this in that little wedge, hold everything, bring my thread around, tighten it just a little bit. I take off my divider, flare the deer hair, do one more, so I stick my divider back up there again. I'm just basically with my bodkin taking and separating everything so that I've got that. Got a nice spot to put the next section. And then just go back to my fuchsia color here. Again, just taking about a quarter, because as you know, you want the same amount on top as you do on the bottom. So I started with half of the quantity of the fuchsia, and then a quarter of the blue, and now a quarter of the fuchsia. And stack it a little bit. Cut the tips off. Lay that in there. Wrap it around. Tack down just a little bit. I'm going to grab a hold and just scrunch the whole thing down. Now I'm going to take the plastic separator off and just pull that out. So what you'll notice is that I didn't, when I was putting the new section on, none of that was pulling any of the first section down. So now I'm just going to hand stack that, or pack it. If you watch the Ed Lash videos, you'll see that I pretty much mimic his techniques with just about all of this. All right, I'm gonna a couple of wraps there, a couple of half hitches. Tie her down. I'm gonna stack it, or pack it again. And I'm ready to keep going. So basically I would just, let's see what it looks like. Pretty even most of the way. I think it's looking pretty decent. So I would run this out a couple more. Do the plastic again. pull that back. Oh, by the way, these are just little hair clips to use, and now you see I got a nice clean area to tie on my next bunch of hair. Makes it a whole lot easier than trying to fight with each section and, you know, trying to hold the hair back. This does the trick for you. So anyway, those are tips and tricks to hopefully make tying deer hair bass bugs a little bit easier. Hope you enjoyed